I'm pretty sure all of us have hobbies. One of the most common hobbies people often enjoy is collecting things. Among us, there might be those who collect gadgets, video games, Hot Wheels, Gundam figures, action figures, and so on. But have you ever heard of someone whose hobby is collecting partners? This isn't just a casual story, but a real-life tale of a woman in the 1920s who reportedly had a collection of 34 partners. Imagine that, a total of 34 boyfriends, maybe even more. At first glance, this might sound like a unique and harmless quirk, but behind her peculiar hobby lies a terrifying secret. This woman didn't just metaphorically collect her boyfriends. She literally preserved their memory in the darkest way possible. By the end of this story, you'll understand exactly what I mean. The story begins in 1903 in Bucharest, the capital of Romania. There was a noble family living a life of luxury. The head of the family was a successful businessman, married to a beautiful woman, and they had one daughter named Vera. From the outside, their lives seemed perfect. They lived in a large, elegant house with classic architecture. However, their happiness didn't last long. When Vera was just 7 years old, her mother passed away. Losing her mother at such a young age was a devastating blow for Vera. Her father, overwhelmed by his business commitments, felt unable to care for her on his own. As a result, Vera was sent to an all-girls boarding school. She spent her childhood and teenage years growing up in that school. As Vera grew older, she blossomed into a strikingly attractive young woman who caught the attention of many. But her behavior started to change when she entered her teenage years. Vera was known to be flirtatious and bold. She preferred spending time with boys rather than girls, and was even caught sneaking into the boys' dormitory at night. To her peers, she was seen as daring and mischievous. Her father noticed these changes and became increasingly concerned, especially when Vera started bringing boyfriends home. The issue wasn't just that she was dating. It was the fact that her boyfriends were significantly older than her. When Vera was 15, her boyfriend was in his mid-20s. Her father tried advising her to date someone closer to her age, but Vera would always reply, "I like older men, Dad." At first, her father tried to be understanding, but his worries only grew. When Vera turned 17, she introduced a man named Carl to her father. Carl was a 35-year-old banker, and Vera was head over heels for him. She asked for her father's blessing to marry Carl. Although he found the age gap unsettling, her father eventually gave his approval. Shortly after, they got married, and Vera became Vera Ashik. At first, Vera and Carl's marriage seemed perfect. They lived in a large castle-like house with luxurious interiors. The basement was stocked with fine wines, and their lifestyle was one of opulence. The couple was well regarded in their community, seen as loving, humble, and sociable. Their happiness seemed complete when Vera gave birth to a baby boy named Lorenzo. But over time, Vera began to sense changes in Carl's behavior. He started coming home late from work, often smelling of alcohol. Carl claimed he was busy with clients and work obligations, but Vera's instincts told her something was off. She became suspicious that Carl might be cheating on her. Despite Carl's reassurances, Vera's mistrust continued to grow. Then, one fateful night, Carl didn't come home at all. Vera tried contacting his workplace, only to learn that Carl hadn't shown up at the bank for several days. A few weeks later, Vera received an anonymous letter. The letter stated that Carl had died in an accident, along with a woman who was presumably his mistress. Losing Carl devastated Vera. She felt betrayed and heartbroken. For months, she stayed in seclusion, grieving the loss of her husband and the betrayal she believed he had committed. But eventually, Vera decided to move on with her life. She met another man, a banker named Joseph Renzi. Joseph swept Vera off her feet, and before long, they got married. Vera took his last name and became Vera Renzi. Sadly, this new chapter in Vera's life was just as short-lived. After only 4 months of marriage, Joseph left her. Vera found a letter written by Joseph, confessing that he had been unfaithful and had decided to leave her for another woman. This second betrayal shattered Vera. She felt as though she had been destroyed twice by the man she had trusted. It was during this period of heartbreak that Vera began to change. Her perspective on love and relationships took a dark turn. She no longer sought true love. Instead, she began to view men as tools to fill the emptiness inside her. Vera started spending her nights in bars and cafes, where she would casually meet new men. She wasn't looking for anything serious. She was done with love. Men, however, were naturally drawn to her beauty and charm. Many pursued her, but strangely, none of them seemed to leave her house once they entered. Over time, Vera made a chilling decision. If men were going to betray her, then she would take control. She targeted married men, specifically choosing men who already had commitments elsewhere. One of her lovers, Milorat, was married to a woman named Mary. Vera and Milorat began an affair, but when Milorat tried to end things to focus on his pregnant wife, Vera couldn't accept it. Shortly after, Mary reported her husband missing. The police began investigating and traced Milorat's last known location to Vera's house. When they arrived, Vera appeared calm and cooperative. She admitted to having an affair with Milorat, but claimed she hadn't seen him in days. The police, however, decided to search her house. They combed through the main floor, then the upper floor, but found nothing. As they were about to leave, one officer suggested checking the basement. What they found there was horrifying. In the basement, alongside rows of wine bottles, were 35 zinc coffins. Inside, one of the coffins lay Milorat's body. In the others, the police discovered the preserved remains of 34 other men. To their shock, they also found the body of a child, Vera's own son, Lorenzo. During her interrogation, Vera confessed to everything. She had killed Carl, Joseph, and all the other men who had entered her life. She even admitted to poisoning Lorenzo. When asked why, her answer was chilling. "I wanted to be their first and last love." Vera was sentenced to life imprisonment in isolation. In prison, she was often seen talking to herself, claiming she was speaking to her victims. Vera died in 1960 at the age of 57. To this day, she is remembered as the origin of the Black Widow. So, that's the story of Vera, the origin of the Black Widow. It's a chilling reminder of how love, when mixed with obsession, jealousy, and heartbreak, can turn into something truly horrifying. From her luxurious beginnings to her tragic end in prison, Vera's story shows the dark side of what happens when emotions take over. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with your friends who also love terrifying true stories like this. Let them know how crazy this story is. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button now. By subscribing, you won't miss any new videos I upload every week. Also, turn on the notification bell so you'll always be the first to watch stories like this one. All right, that's it for today's story. Stay safe, take care, and remember, don't let yourself become the victim or the villain of a story like this. See you in the next video.